wind howls in your ears as the flapping of wings deafens out all other sound. You feel yourself running, hands pressed tight against your head to stop the sharp pains of talons and beaks that lash out at you. Soundlessly you scream, knowing so only because of the hoarse agony ripping across your throat. Suddenly your foot catches something, sending you tumbling to the ground. The impact knocks the breath from your lungs. Gasping for air, you look up and see one amber eye fill your field of vision. A harsh cawing silences the wind and wings before your eyes snap open as a voice urges you, "Run!" And Tia, you awake, finding yourself in a small wooden room with several hammocks hanging from the walls. You're lying on one of the lower ones. The room contains a wash basin, several small chests, and a door.
Oh. Well, there's boxes. Boxes must always be investigated if they're mine. I feel like these probably belong to other people, though.
Some of them do. You, after a moment, you remember where you are, and you do know that the box at the foot of your hammock contains your belongings. You are currently dressed in just simple robes, but you know your armor, weapons, everything is in that box.
So it's time to get dressed?
Pretty much.
Oh.
Time to get up, time to get going. Time to see a friend of yours. Warm and fuzzy. Love him because he's Pooh Bear.
What?
That should probably get cut. That's the theme song to Winnie the Pooh, and that should probably get cut. Anyway, so you open up your chest, you get your stuff, you're getting dressed, and as you finish putting on your armor, the door opens, and several people walk into the room. You do know these people. The first one is a portly human woman in her middle years. She has graying brown hair cut short and wears simple robes. You know her as Mother Miriam, an alchemist who originally was a priestess of the god Hygiene, but has turned her attentions to the work of Belah, the goddess of medicine. There is a dwarvish man in heavy armor. He is wide, stout, has a large beard, as most dwarves do, sharp gray eyes that never stop moving. This is Brother Wiles. And there is also...
He a wily little dwarf?
He kind of just glowers at you and narrows his eyes a little bit. You found out very quickly he's kind of a humorless individual, very devout and very devoted to the mother. But other than that, there was no real response.
Aww. But that just makes me want to poke his nose.
He would probably sternly oppose that.
That just makes her want to do it more.
Yeah, that is kind of the issue, isn't it?
A rarity, but you know they do exist in this world. Sister Citrine is a snow elf. She's a druid who follows Belah's teachings, and she is usually a very happy individual, but as of late has been more dour, mostly because you're in a very warm climate right now. You're near the world's equator, you're on a ship going, you're moving slightly north, but she is not happy with how warm it is. She wants a much colder climate, and tells everyone this. Often. Emphatically, even. But she is fascinated by Mother Miriam's alchemical abilities, so she, while not really one to follow Belah's teachings of mercy in battle, she does like the healing and alchemical components, so she's following more for that than anything else. And then there are two other individuals. Why don't you two give us a little bit about...
So you see a human woman. She's in armor. Nothing really overly remarkable. She has long brown hair that's kind of tied back in a braid, and she just has a smattering of freckles over her. She's generally seems friendly, and her name is Sister Lilith.
You see another human male, and also in armor. Long black hair, but it's like all braided into a ponytail. And he seems to, for a following of Belah, he has nothing but weapons on it. A glaive, a hand axe, and a warhammer.
I get the feeling you and Brother Wiles get along there. What's your name there?
Oh, my name is Ian Violet. Brother Ian Violet.
Brother Ian Violet. Alright. And these are the holy pilgrims that you have found yourself with on this journey across the sea from the Altrun region to the Mace region. Now, you don't really know why they're traveling, and they never asked you a lot of questions, but they come in and begin getting ready for the day.
So it's a party in the sleeping bay.
Well, party so much they're going through their belongings. Some of them are taking off armor, or like Citrine, for instance, is she's always been a little strange, but she's playing with something in her chest that no one really knows what she's keeping in there. No one really wants to ask.
I literally meant just a traveling party is in the sleeping bay.
Oh, yes, the party that you are traveling with is in the sleeping bay. I thought you were like, it's a party in here. Yeah, no.
I mean, it is.
Kind of.
Exactly, really.
So is there any way you would like to interact with these people while they are here?
I'm gonna poke my dwarven buddy on the nose. I don't care if he likes it or not. I'm gonna do it.
Is that a reason you have to start every day like this, lass?
'Cause you're fun.
And he just walks away over to his hammock.
And that is why I do this.
So, at a certain point, Mother Miriam is going to come over, and she's going to speak with you. We've been traveling together for a few weeks now, and we've both kept our respective distances, but I think it's time we should talk. Come, have a seat. And she actually calls over the rest of the pilgrims as well, and sits down, and she says, we are traveling to the Mace region for a very specific purpose. And you just see Wiles like look at her very sharply, like kind of are we trusting this woman? Are we doing this? And she kind of waves him off. Over the past couple of months, we have found our connection to Belah waning, and our prayers are going unanswered. The results of our spells are not what we intended. Many of our flock has fled, declaring that Belah has abandoned us. And we were curious if you, with your goddess, have been experiencing anything in the same.
Well, yes. It's been a little, unusual lately.
Have you tried to contact, you follow who again?
Virilus.
Virilus. Have you tried to contact her? Has there been any answer? Anything?
There has not.
It is as I feared. We are trying to travel to the temple to Belah in Mace, the city of Mace, not just the region, but in the city itself. Unfortunately, you may have noticed the cults forming, worshipping the new gods. The fact that we are able to travel so openly is thanks to people such as Brother Ian, Sister Lilith, and Brother Wiles here being so well armored, but I just warn you, you may wish to keep your symbol hidden once we make it to the region. The people on the streets may not be as welcoming and kind to one of a holy order.
See, well, suppose I can put it away for a time.
Tucked away, it should still have its effect. I just mean not to wear it openly and brazenly.
I understand your meaning.
Okay. We're going to take some time for prayer, but if you wish to begin your day, there's no need for you to join us if any wish to go for breakfast or whatnot. But myself and Citrine have some work to do with the plants, and Brother Wiles has his prayers.
Well, I can't exactly neglect my own responsibilities. I should likely attempt my own prayers.
All right. Well, outside.
Let's talk Wiles again.
This is very distracting.
I mean, we're just gonna pray, right?
He takes out a full dwarvish helm, puts it on, and lowers the face guard.
Oh, come now. I like to start my day that way. But...
There's a buckle he just latches in place right by the throat.
Oh,
I really think he's starting to warm up to you.
he's hilarious. I like this guy.
As warmed up as I ever get to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. So you all have your prayers.
I'm sorry, this starts off the campaign breaking an NPC.
Every campaign starts that way. Every campaign that I DM with you people starts exactly the same way. How can
You
we
say you
break
people,
your
but this is the
NPCs?
first time you've had to really DM for me.
I didn't break any NPCs, thank you very much.
But he's fun to poke because he's grumpy and he's not actually gonna hit me.
He's grumpy and not actually going to hit me.
That's good reasoning.
That is abuse of power.
Oh no, I haven't even used like any of my background skill or anything, so I'm not abusing anything.
She's only just starting.
I meant like the abuse of power in terms of you know he won't hit you, so you're gonna keep fucking with him. It's not cool, man.
I just like to poke him on the nose in the morning. It's a fun way to start the day.
Yeah, for you.
Come now, even grumpy people like to be approached occasionally.
True, but in his current form, he just kind of wants quiet.
Hey, we were just gonna do prayers. I had no intention of poking him. That's a morning
Alright.
thing. We start the day. He knows it's coming. He could start the day with a helmet, but he didn't.
Who sleeps wearing a full helmet?
He walked into the room. He wasn't asleep.
Anyway, you all go through your prayers. Those of you that need to pray for your spells, do so. Even though you do know that there is something of a... There's a problem when you try to cast your magic. You know that much.
It gets weird.
Shit gets weird, yes. Anyway, so you guys have been going through your prayers. You pray for your spells, and you are getting ready to start your day. Starting to feel a little hungry, some of you. So you are free to move about the ship as you please at this point.
Morning stuff is done. I'm tidy. I'm prayed. I'm gonna go get food.
All right. Mother Miriam and Sister Citrine are going. They still have plants that they're taking care of. Brother Wiles is going to go with you to get food, and the other two of you.
I'll join him for food.
I'm gonna go get some food.
All right. So you go up to the deck, and you go to where the mess is, and there's quite a few people, a mix of humans, dwarves, and a few even elves who are working on the ship, and they are in the mess hall, and you see behind the counter is Cookie. Cookie is a good-natured and happy dwarvish woman. And as you approach, good morning. Here, have something to eat. And she hands you, I love how every time I do a dwarvish woman, I go Irish instead of Scottish. But she hands you a bowl steaming with some kind of oatmeal. I mean, you're on a ship, you're not going to be getting gourmet meals, but it's seasoned nicely and has good weight to it, so you won't end up hungry in an hour. And a cup of water, and you're given time to eat, enjoy, and chat if you'd like.
I have to sit there and stare at Wiles for a moment. He has a helmet on.
He lifts the helm, looking at, like, the eyes narrowed, looking at you as he just spoons a bite in, puts the spoon down, and while chewing, closes the helm.
Isn't that uncomfortable?
Bates the alternative.
I mean, alternative as in, I'm not gonna poke you again.
Just through the little slit, you see his eyes very narrow. He spoons another one, lifts the helm, bites down, and closes the helm.
Oh,
Like I said, this is him warming up to you.
I would be hurt if he wasn't such a big softy on the inside.
As warmed up as I'll ever get.
Mm-hmm.
Does that often get into beard problems? How does one remove that from a beard?
The eyes get even more narrow.
What? I can't grow one that fabulous, all right? It is a legitimate question.
Well, it's just eating her oatmeal and just giggling at the whole thing.
I don't understand beard maintenance. He's so accusatory about it.
Trying my best not to laugh and eat my food.
Not going so great for you over there. You snicker every now and then. But as you're coming close to the end of your meal, how many of them are there? There are 18 ship hands. Okay. And I'd say there's probably a few of them sitting in there with you, right?
Probably.
Probably.
So let's see how many are on deck currently. 10. There are 10 ship hands on deck currently. So we'll say it's the first 10. So you have 4 ship hands eating in the same room as you are. 3 humans and an elf. You know them as the humans as Quip, Za, and Fleta. And the elf is named Cho.
What for me?
Cho. C-H-O. Cho.
Okay, well,
It
Wasn't
sounded
entirely
like
sure.
Joe.
it did sound like Joe. And
Cho.
I was confused.
The elf. Joe the elf.
That could be a thing.
No,
Your average Joe.
Cho. Yeah, it's your average Cho. He's a very average elf. So they are sitting there and eating, and all 8 of you. It is not canon. I see the chat. It is not canon. It is not Joe the elf.
It's so Joe the elf.
Cho. C-H-O. Cho.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Cho. Is it? You're gonna just start annoying my NPCs to death?
Yeah, because he's gonna be Joe forever now. I don't care if his name is Cho. It's Joe. It's in my notes now.
You hear a scream from outside on the deck. All 8 of your heads snap up at once as the screaming happens. Does anybody go to investigate, or are you just gonna let...
Nope, I jump up and
Yeah.
draw my hand axe and proceed to make my way towards noise.
Alright, that means we're rolling initiative.
Yeah, it does sound like initiative.
Well, if you do nothing, you technically don't have to roll initiative. You can just sit there and let whatever happens happen. I mean, monsters do exist in this world, and you can be them.
I just have my hand on the hilt of my longsword as I get up to do this, so...
Leave at the ready.
And we
18 minus 1.
11 minus 1.
12. It's just a 12.
Because
Why do you guys have negative on your initiative?
they're
Paladin.
paladins, and they
Yeah.
put nothing into dex.
Oh, is Dex what does that?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Ah.
They're paladins who put nothing into dex. Let me roll for the crew. Crew did not do very well. There's actually 2 groups of them. That one did better. Alright, so we have... The monster gets to go first.
Oh, that's
Followed
fun.
by Brother Ian. Ship Hands 2. Tia. Who actually, we have not said your name once yet.
Surprise!
Sister
Yeah,
Lilith.
I don't think that anyone has really said their name as far as characters and stuff go, other than the intro for Ian and...
Yeah. Everyone's being rather close to the
Cautious.
chest with their stuff, yeah. And then Ship Hands 1. So we're gonna just kind of count the screaming, and you hear a splash because this thing gets to attack because you guys don't... You weren't fast enough to get to it.
We were like mid-oatmeal when the scream happened.
Seriously, Cookie makes good oatmeal. I don't know what to tell you.
Cookie
Exactly.
does make good oatmeal, I'll be honest with you.
You can't insult her cooking. I mean, come on. Just
No,
something
Cookie
you
would
don't
kill you.
do. Exactly.
Oh, that's gonna
Monster
hit.
Cookie. Which one are you scared of more?
That is going to be 6 damage. All right, Brother Ian, you are sitting in the, well, you're now standing in the mess hall. I guess it's called a galley on a ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, at least the kitchen's referred to as a galley.
Yeah.
How far are the boxes from me?
You haven't seen it yet. You're still indoors. You have to go out the doors. They're probably about 10 feet away from where you guys are sitting. It's not large areas because it's not a very large ship. It's large enough to accommodate about 40, 50 people, but it's not huge.
Okay, I make my way towards the where the sound of the scream came from.
All right, so as you pass through these doors, you swing open your, I don't know which weapon you chose to have at hand.
I had my hand axe ready. I wasn't too sure of the severity of the issue.
Right, so you have your hand axe out, you go outside, and you see all around the ship are these enormous tentacles. In one of them is Jardium, one of the human deckhands.
Oh, no.
Screaming and beating. You see blood dripping down the side of his face. He's beating on one of the tentacles that has itself wrapped around him, and he's just high above the air at this point, and you just see it's almost like the ship is surrounded by these flailing appendages.
Alright. I throw my hand next to the one holding... What's his name?
Jardium.
Jardium.
Yeah, I throw my hand next to the tentacle holding Jardium.
Alright, roll to hit.
That is my plus 5, right? Should be.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, because it's strength based, yes. I'm smart. So, 18.
18 will definitely hit.
Okay. And it is a 6 damage.
What are you laughing at over there?
That is 4 points of damage.
Yay! First blood.
No minimum. And the second the tentacles got the first blood.
Well, first blood on the monster. And let's see if...
Can I draw my glaive off my back?
Ken.
Alright. And I'm ready my glaive.
Alright, so you throw your hand axe and you see it just kind of... It hits the side of the tentacle. It does cut the tentacle. It flies off into the ocean after that. And it's almost like you did nothing because the tentacle doesn't even register. It just keeps swinging Jardim around. And it is now Ship Hand 2. 4 of whom were in the mess hall with you. 3 of whom are actually on the ship. So those 3 will be able to attack the creature. Whereas the ones who were in the mess hall with you, they're getting themselves ready. Not quite the adventurers you are. So they're going to start firing their short bows. Miss. Crit fail. And he ends up shooting Jardim.
Oh.
It's a d6 plus 1. Jardim, he just takes an arrow in the shoulder and starts screaming. He's still alive. It didn't kill him. It just like he's being attacked by a tentacle and now has an arrow sticking out of his shoulder. And the third
and I
one...
bet he is cursing like a sailor.
In fact, he is. He is indeed doing that. And the third one missed. Wow, they suck. They all suck. All right, that was Ship Hands 2. Actually, you know what? Just because that was so bad, I'll give the ones they are using short bows. The 4 you were eating with come out and start shooting as well. That one actually hits for a whopping 7 points. Hit. Crit. Hit. All right. So the ones you were eating with apparently are the competent ones. For 2, 9, 15 more points of damage. And then it's going to be Tia's turn.
Alrighty. Well, I'm not gonna get too terribly close to Tentacle Face here.
That's probably
sounds-
wise.
Yeah, it just seems like a bad day. But you know what I am gonna do?
What's that?
I'm gonna get close enough to make him do a wisdom save.
Alrighty. So Tentacles makes a wisdom save. That is a 6.
Right then, we toll the dead. For 11 damage. That was a solid toll.
It was a solid toll.
Max is out at 12.
It is true. So the spectral form with a bell just comes behind. Wham! On the back of the head. Right on the back of the tentacle.
There you
You
go.
can't see the head. You can't see the head currently. You just see tentacles. That brings us to Sister Lilith.
So Jardim is still being held, right?
Held and screaming in agony.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over to that tentacle and take a swing at it with my longsword.
Alright, so you run over and you take a swing at the tentacle.
That is an 18 to hit.
That will hit.
And he takes 5 points of damage from it.
5 points of damage.
Not much, but it's something.
That is true. And let's see if he holds on to Jardim. He does. He manages to keep hold of Jardim. And that brings us to Ship Hand 1. Or Ship Hands 1, technically. I'm going to try to speed roll them. Missing a hit. Hit and a crit. 2 more hits. And a hit. So we have 6 total hits, 1 of them a crit. Roll the crit first. That's 6 points. 12. 15. 20. Wow, I had to think about 15 plus 5. 23. 26. They worked together and managed to do 26 total points of damage. But it still seems to be hanging on. Alright.
I mean,
And
he
that
is
brings us
fairly
to...
firmly hanging on to poor Jardine there.
Yeah, poor Jardim. Which that tentacle is going to be used to make an attack against Lilith.
Hi.
You got all up close and personal with it.
I
You
have,
did.
That's what I have.
An unnatural 20. It is quite unnatural.
Yeah.
That is going to be 10 points of bludgeoning damage as the tentacle comes down and smashes into you, and using Jardim almost like a bludgeoning weapon himself, you hear bones snap and crack as his body goes limp just right next to you. So we're gonna mark him as a dead ship hand.
No, he's just dead. Oh, no.
He's just dead. He's just dead. Do you know why I named all of them? So I could kill them and make you feel something.
You're an awful person.
I really am.
Wait, where is Wiles?
Oh yeah, I did put him on the initiative order. I rolled a natural 1 for him, so he can come in at the end of this round. How's that sound?
Reasonable. 'Cause there's no way he's not helping at least a little.
I have a character sheet for him, right? I'm pretty sure I made one for him.
One would hope we have decided that he is a big softie, whether or not your character sheet agrees.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens every time I make an NPC.
It's not we decided. It's Sabrina decided. I just decided that the elf name
Oh,
was
there
Joe.
he is. Yeah, no, I have a character sheet for all of them. There he is.
Well, you can't gear the guy up for combat and then throw things onto combat and then just not
No,
says he
combat.
can't.
He's right here. He's right here. I have him. He exists. He's real.
Good.
And you want to know the best part? He's a paladin who has no initiative modifier. Not negative. None. Just 0. So he actually would do better at initiative than you guys if he hadn't rolled a natural 1.
Yeah?
Just pointing out, you can build a paladin with more than an 8 dexterity.
I have a 9.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, well then.
No, I have an 8. I use point buy when I'm characters.
She could have as well. As a human, she gets +1 to all of her stats. That's probably what gave her the 9 instead of the 8. Yep,
Oh, that's
right
probably what
there.
gave me the 9, actually.
I put my 8 into charisma, I believe.
Yeah, I have 9.
That explains Wiles' reaction to you booping him on the snoot.
Oh yeah. No, it's totally a snoot boop, and that's gonna happen on a regular basis because he has a big dwarf nose.
Yeah, my only negative stat is Dex is Dex.
So the creature's next attack. He's gonna go after, I guess, one of the crew. And that is enough to hit the crew member. And you know this human woman to be Roa. R-O-A. And she's going to take lethal damage in the first hit. So Roa just dies.
Bye,
Apparently
Roa.
we don't- Yeah, you didn't really get to know her very well.
Jesus Christ, Brian.
She was a sweetheart, though. She had kids at home. I guess they're orphans now.
Who said that their father was also on the ship?
It was Jardim.
Oh no.
Why you gotta do
Dead pincushion now.
That's fucked up.
Brother Ian, you're up.
Yay! 2 people are dead. As a bonus action, I cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Roll a d20.
I don't wanna. I got a 3.
You're fine. It's only if you roll a 1. It's like a wild magic sorcerer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that's like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And I run up with my glaive and I attack the tentacle that we've been wailing on and still alive.
Alrighty. I feel like this thing's gonna die from blood loss from one tentacle.
It might. We'll find that artery. Will.
We'll find that artery.
I could choose to put the Divine Smite on afterwards, right?
Yes.
My last spell slot. Does a 13 hit?
A 13 will hit, yes.
Oh my god.
It's an animal with natural armor, let's be honest here. They don't really have the best of hit points.
His
Best
hit
of
points
armor
seem
class.
fine. His AC might not.
Oh, right. High hit points, low AC. Sorry.
Yeah, 12 points of slashing.
12 points, alright. Alright, so ship hand 2, they're gonna go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're starting to take on ship hand 1's abilities, and they do a grand total of 11 points of damage, as many of them are missing. One just goes, Roa, no! She had children! We don't care as much about Jardim, he was an ass!
Yeah, didn't he have children? Woof.
with Roa.
I mean, we can talk all day about saying nice things about people once they're dead, but he was still kind of an asshole. Tia, you're up.
All right, but I'm still hanging back because I really don't want to get stuck by those things. So
Yeah, no, smart move. Because
yeah,
being
wisdom
grabbed by
save
one
it
of us-
is.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
He crit
Feeling like
failed.
wisdom is really the way to go. He crit failed.
Do you know what a crit fail does on a saving throw in my games?
Double damage.
Double damage, roll 2 dice. This is a crit for you.
All right. Well, that is a 7 with 4, so I still do 11 damage.
And that's enough to kill it, actually. You see all the tentacles shudder and just release where they were starting to wrap around the ship. You hear the cracking of the wood. Tia throws out her hand and the tentacles just go limp. And you feel the ship kind of lurch as the weight starts to pull it down a little. But then the tentacles start to just unravel and the ship rights itself. And at that moment, a heavily armored dwarf comes huffing out, his foot tangled a little bit around a rope. Othemis! Othemis! And he has a great axe in his hands. Oh. Well. Puts the axe away.
You missed the toll of the Reaper. This is a solid one.
Uh-huh. He says as he takes the faceplate and lowers it down.
Yeah, we lost 2 shipmates.
You'd be very proud of how Tia handled herself.
I'm gonna hug him eventually.
At that moment, you hear a sharp voice cry out, "Quick, recover the bodies! You, 3, throw out the harpoons. Don't let the meat go to waste at the very least." And you see a man, a sun elf, he has almost a regal appearance to him. He's wearing normal seafaring clothing, but they seem to be made out of fine quality, and he has a few pins along the edges of his coat that mark him in. It is not Joel, Joe's brother. This is the captain of the ship, Captain Xanaris, the sun elf. He is tall, regal looking. He has the fine clothing and the pins that mark him as high ranking within the Altrun Navy. Behind him is his first mate. She is probably an inch or 2 shorter than him, but still fairly tall. I don't know how tall each of you is, but high elves, sun elves, and moon elves both tend to have a few inches on your average human. So she is still fairly tall by your standards. This is his first mate, Trill. She is always close at hand when the captain is around. She has her hair cut in short, almost like a pixie way, so that it doesn't get caught in any of the rigging or tangled when she is trying to fight on the ship. Also, those of you with longer hair have noticed that the salt air is not kind to long hair. She doesn't have like any large weapons. You see that the captain has a saber at his belt, but down each one of her legs are at least 4 or 5 daggers just at the ready. And she has paper and a quill always close at hand.
So I guess we get the harpoons to get the meat.
Oh, the ship hands are taking care of that.
Oh.
They've grabbed the harpoons and are they're throwing them out to make sure that they get a good hook onto the creature. Which, if any of you would like to make a nature check,
Sure.
Sure.
That's a plus.
Nat 20 on that
I'll
one.
go 8.
I got a 9.
So a 21?
yeah, the 21 tells you that this was a giant squid.
Yeah.
8 or 9, big tentacle monster, scary tentacle monster.
So Cookie's gonna make calamari?
That's pretty much the idea. You see that Captain Xanaris is, he's trying to make sure that the food source that you guys were so helpfully given by the sea, the sea's bounty, if you will, is being collected properly, while at the same time needing to attend to the grief of the crew from losing 2 of their own, which if you can make insight checks if you like.
Sure. 15.
15?
Insight. Oh, it's a 23. 22?
Yeah.
22.
Either or.
Mm.
Brother Ian.
No.
Brother Ian is still like, there's a tentacle that's kind of laying on the deck still. He's just kind of poking it with the glaive a little bit like, huh. Well, the 2 of you, you're looking over and you see Xanaris. He's composed. The thing is, losing people on a ship is not uncommon. It's not that he is not sympathetic to the loss or the plight. It's just that he needs to keep his ship in order. So he seems to not care to the outside observer, but it's just a matter of he is the captain, and this is his ship, and it needs to continue running. He is not in any way a cruel dictator. It's just, this needs to be done, and we need to keep living kind of attitude.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't remember that I had a +5 to innocent.
Yeah, clerics and wisdom-based stats, usually very good together. Alright, so soon after the captain and Trill get to the deck, then a pale-skinned human woman comes out and she starts moving from person to person, and she comes over to you, Lilith. You know this as Medic Runa.
Okay.
And Runa approaches you and says, "Wounds? Anyone need their wounds treated?"
I did, but I can also patch myself if I need.
Right. I'll keep this for those of us that can't do that.
Sorry.
And
Thank you, though.
She gives you like a curt nod and moves along, tending to the wounds of other individuals on the ship, and covering the 2 corpses with sheets. Captain looks up at where the wheel is. "Pippi!" Just yells, "Pippi!" And you see a little halfling woman pop up over the wheel, and the wheel starts to turn, and the entire ship starts listing to one side, and she goes, "Oop!" and she drops off and clambers up onto the bar, like kicking the wheel back on course. "Yeah, how did we find this individual? Ooh, we must have strayed a little too far north. Can you bring us back south a bit?" Yeah, I can do that. And you just see her like lean back, grab onto the wheel, and she just kind of falls with it, and it spins, and the entire ship lurches, and everyone, go ahead and make deck saves for me if you like.
Yeah,
Deck saves.
Yeah.
That's good. 16 minus 1, 15.
You're fine.
12.
10 minus 1.
Brother Ian, like, he looks up, he's like, You've had experience with Pippi in the past. You just look, oh no, and you just fall right and slam on your ass. Wiles manages to keep himself, and Tia, how do you do?
I did a 12.
12, you're fine. You need to make a 10, as the entire ship just kind of lurches south a little bit, and you just see Xenorus grab onto Quill's shoulder and the mast at the same time and keep her from going down. Why did we hire a halfling navigator? Because she's the best at what she does? Killing us?
I like him.
I have to group the captain as I stand up.
Yes, he looks over at you. Also, thank you for your contribution. I was a bit concerned at bringing on holy men and women, considering the current climate. But I'm sure without your aid, we would have lost a great deal more of our crew. So, thank you for your contributions.
Thanks for having me. Glad I could assist.
That's very well. Well, we are going to go about our business. See you at dinner tonight, I suppose. And he kind of walks off. Quill kind of giving you a look, like rolling her eyes at him, but smiling, and follows behind.
Can I just wink at her?
You totally can.
Yes.
Out of character. Alright, bye, Joel.
His name is not Joel! You know him!
Tell Joe I said hi.
May I use Cure Wounds?
You
on
may
myself?
use Cure Wounds. You just have to roll a d20 when you do so.
Alright. D20 first. That's an 18.
You're fine.
It was like she rolls a 1, another
Another
shows up.
squid
We're just like,
comes out of the water, starts crushing the ship.
just like, well,
That's 4 points healed, but that's something.
That's still something, yep. Alrighty.
Oh, wait. I have a thing for this.
You have a thing for this?
Oddly enough, I'm a cleric. I know. Wait, how much damage did you actually take? I wrote it down. But
I took 10 points of damage. I healed 4 of it.
I'll come over and go ahead and do a Cure Wounds as well.
Oh, thank you.
I have to check these things. I have so many things. Ooh. It's a 2.
Oh, so close.
And you get 8 back.
Oh, thank you. Back up to full.
Just topped her off.
Yep.
but Nicole, you do know we're paladins, right?
Yeah,
You do know we have lay on hands, right?
I know. I do know. Thank you, Sister Tia.
Not sister, but yep. Happy to help.
I just put a hand on her shoulder. Sister to me for now.
If you could refrain from touching me.
Sorry.
Thanks.
You see, I have something called boundary issues. I don't like people getting into my area, but I don't mind invading theirs.
Hey, she was injured. There was no reason to touch me. I am unscathed.
So the rest of the day goes by relatively normal. I mean, you can do whatever you like with this time. You've been introduced to a few characters you can bother if you like. Outside of that, we can just skip to the end of the day. It's entirely up to you what you would like to do with the time.
I do need to continue stalking Wiles around.
Yeah, Wiles goes about his day. Actually, he at one point in the day goes to meet with a dark-skinned human. He's very tall, he's strong, and you know him as Quartermaster Quran. Quaren. So he takes care of mostly like the discipline and whatnot on the ship. He's strong and quite the weapons master. So Wiles actually seems to go there to... He goes there to spar to keep himself on his game.
I'll join Wiles in that training. I feel like I really messed up with that hand axe.
Well, given that you don't have it anymore.
You should still have one.
Yeah, I have one left. I'm gonna practice some throwing with the hand axe.
Kron points and goes, inside.
Yeah, inside. I know, it's inside. Like, I hope this target's set up.
Yeah, there's a target. I mean, again, not a huge ship. There's a target you can throw at.
Yeah, I got the target.
Alright.
Practice my aim.
Practice your aim on that.
I'm just gonna watch Wiles like a creeper, because I can.
He seems to be doing fairly well. Karan doesn't seem to be wearing heavy armor. He seems to be wearing like kind of like a breastplate kind of thing. Mostly, you get the feeling that you guys probably chose wrong wearing heavy metal armor on a ship, because were you to go overboard, that's that. You're done.
My snail mail is so fashionable.
Lilith probably goes to see if Mother Miriam needs any assistance with anything.
She would probably enjoy having the extra hand with the plants and whatnot, and Citrine, of course, always loves having someone to talk to about the ongoing just, it's so hot and humid, and how do you people stand this, and I just want to get back where it's nice and cold.
Yeah, it is a little on the, humid side. It'll be nice when we're not quite so. I feel your pain. I do.
Can I try to spar with Wiles? I've got a glaive.
You can try to spar with Wiles if you like.
He's gonna kick my ass.
I mean, that's entirely up to the dice.
That is true.
So I suppose roll initiative on that.
I guess. I'm gonna do it. I suck at initiative.
Well, he got a 15.
Well, I got a 4.
So I think he's gonna go before you.
I
think
think
that's
so,
how
yeah,
that works. So let me just pull up his character sheet instead of Koran's.
I assume that this is going to be weapons based and we're not like flinging spells at each other.
Right. He has a great axe. However, he will be using a training axe. So it's going to technically all be bludgeoning damage and non-lethal. Just so you're aware.
That's reasonable. As far as my weaponry goes, I think I just have slash damage.
I mean, you can also borrow a quarterstaff from the weapons master over there.
Ah, yes, that might be closer to a glaive than other options.
It's a D6 or a D8 if you wield it two-handed.
Well, the glaive is two-handed, so I would have to use it as a D8 if we're going to keep it similar.
Sounds good. So he will swing at you with a 15.
What is my AC? No!
No? Alright. So then you're up.
Yay! This is going to be a fun game of back and forth.
The blunted metal blade swishes past you.
Oh! That's okay, I don't hit him either.
What did you get?
9? Wait, no,
Yeah,
it's 12.
Still not gonna do it.
Nope, it's not.
He crit.
He crit!
Yeah, he got a natural 20.
Aww.
And because it's blunted, I'm not using the D12s, I'm using D10s instead.
Yeah.
So that is 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
I'm gonna go ahead and call it.
So you like swipe down to get him. He twists a lot more agile than you expect a stout little dwarf to be, and he uses his own momentum to slam the blade into your side, which is completely exposed, and you just feel the breath just get knocked completely out of you, and you're just like, okay, done.
Yeah, well, I only have 17 hit points, so...
Oh, then make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. I'm fine.
Yeah, so you manage to keep from blacking out as the colors burst across your vision, and you just hear this deep, hearty laugh in the corner, and you see it's Karan who's there, just kind of snickering to himself. You never really see him crack a smile much either, but at this, he has this grin plastered on his face.
That was a good one. That hurt like the son of a bitch.
I believe it.
That was a good one.
And you just see Brother Wiles lift the faceplate, and there's just you can tell in the big bushy beard, there's just a smile in there. And he looks at you and goes, I guess I booped you back. And he hands over the axe and he leaves the room.
He got you good.
Yeah, he did. I can't even be mad. That was great. I'm gonna hug him later.
I go up to Tia. Do you need some help getting up, or are you good?
I'm gonna take a minute. But that was great. No regrets. Ow.
I'm glad to see you both getting along better. All it took was for him to smack you one good time.
Oh, he got me good. I think I'm gonna go see Roa?
Runa.
Runa!
Alright, so you walk down there and Runa is busy. She seems to be organizing bottles and packages in her very, very small little office that has 2 cots. One is off to the side where all the equipment is, and the other is probably hers for when she doesn't have multiple people.
It's me, Runa.
She looks up and goes, "You seem a little worse for wear. Did the squid get you?"
No, the dwarf did.
The dwarf did?
Yes.
Should we speak to the captain, or...?
No, we were sparring. It was friendly. He just has quite a boop.
Okay. And she gestures to the table. Are you sure you don't want one of your gods to take care of this?
Lately, my magic's been feeling a little weird. I think I'm gonna put this in your capable hands.
And she gives you like a little smile and gestures to the bed. I was never one for the gods themselves. No offense to your lifestyle, as she starts rummaging through and collecting particular things. The course of my life, I never really saw much of their hands in anything that we were doing back home. She starts mixing herbs and whatnot together, creating almost like a paste. You might want to unbuckle your armor, please.
Oh, sure. I suppose I shall go ahead and do so.
Right. Really only need to take off like the breastplate area where, because you were kind of hitting the side, she pulls up your undergarments slightly there, because when you wear armor like that, you have to have the thick padding and the leather and whatnot to absorb the impact. So she just moves that out of the way enough that she can apply a poultice, and that is going to be these dice, and wrap it, and instantly you start feeling better as you regain 8 hit points.
Yeah, that is a very big help.
Yeah, these herbs are back from where I'm originally from, up north.
I traveled a lot, but they are effective.
Yes, quite a bit. I hope to be able to visit home once we get to Mace. I'm from closer to Giant's Graveyard.
Well, whether or not you are a fan of the faith, if you ever need an extra pair of hands in here, I'm happy to assist.
I appreciate it. As long as Pippi keeps us away from any other squid nests, we should be fine.
I suppose it's a bit of a challenge when you can't see over the wheel.
Yes. I questioned the wisdom of hiring her on, but she is one of the best navigators of Porate's Fist, so we hired her, and she's gotten us this far with only a few squid attacks.
Doesn't she have a step stool?
She does. It would be nice if she used it.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I would just like to pat her on the shoulder with my condolences.
Yes, well, only a few more weeks and we should be where we need to be, and so long as we survive, and if she decides to stay on, we can always find another navigator if she doesn't. I mean, she's a halfling. They're easily distracted. Mace is a large city.
I'm sure there will be something sparkly to spare your stomach.
Sanity.
That too. Yep.
Well,
Eventually
you're
your
all
sides.
patched. Yeah, you're all patched up. If you need any more from me, please let me know. If not, I have a bit to do with preparation for the bodies.
Understood. I'll get out of your way, and on the bright side, we should have a pretty good dinner tonight.
Yes, it's amazing what Cookie can do with what we pull out of the ocean.
Or what pulls itself out of the ocean.
That too.
Well, you take care. I'm gonna go find my dwarf buddy who booped me.
I feel that's a terrible decision, and I don't have the herbs to waste, so please don't do that again.
We won't be doing that again. Nope.
Very
But
well.
I do believe his nose needs a poke now.
I've had this incident before with a child in a rattlesnake hole. Alright, so you leave Runa be, and you seek out Wiles.
Yep.
I'd say by now it's probably a little bit past midday after you guys have sparred. Brother Ian throwing his hand axe. Koran giving sometimes helpful, sometimes snarky advice. What has, and Lilith, you went off to help with the, sparred, in quotation marks. You went off to help with the mother and Citrine with the plants.
Mm-hmm.
So, you all have had things that you've been doing throughout the day. Then, come dinner time, Cookie has, in fact, been cooking up a storm. She actually did manage to get her husband's help. You know him to be Boatswain Ferrell, Ferril. He was able to help her. He tends to also keep his bunk back in the galley where she cooks. And she enlisted him and a few of the other deckhands. So there is quite a bit of rubbery meat to go around. Because I don't know how many people here have had calamari. It can be a mite bit chewy.
It can be when it's done wrong.
Yeah.
I've had fried calamari.
Mhm.
I've had fried calamari as well. Well, it's not all going to be perfect throughout, and Cookie's doing the best she can. But Ferrell and some of the deckhands were helping as well. You're not going to get a perfect meal from that.
Nope.
It's edible.
It's edible, and it's seasoned very nicely. She seems to be able to do a lot with seasonings. But you have a calamari almost like a stew. She seems to do a lot of stews, you're noticing. Oatmeal, stew, stuff like that. Anything that can be made in a pot.
And it's hearty.
Always hearty. It's dwarvish. It's always hearty. Nope, you have yourself a good little dinner, and then it's time for bed. And you all retire to your rooms. The night shift takes the deck, and Wiles lies back in his bunk, closes his eyes, starts to snore lightly in the dwarvish fashion.
Yeah, lightly.
Lightly in the dwarvish fashion.
Yeah. Uh-huh. All right.
At least the boat ain't shaking.
Yeah, until Pippi decides that we're going the wrong way.
So you're all sleeping, resting, and your peace is broken by a scream in the night.
This has been the Reliably Chaotic podcast. Champions of Solane is an original Dungeons & Dragons adventure written by Bryan Scharf using the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rule set published by Wizards of the Coast. My name is Bryan Scharf, and I've been your DM. You can reach me at ReliableDM on Twitter. The part of Alatiel was played by Sabrina. The part of Sister Lilith was played by Nicole Summers, and the part of Brother Ian was played by JJ. Theme music by Adrian von Ziegler. All other music by Kevin MacLeod on the Incompetech website. Detailed information on music used is provided in this episode's description. The music for this episode was selected by Nicole Summers, and the episode was edited by Matthew Reed. Contact us on Twitter at Reliably Chaotic or email us at reliablychaotic@gmail.com. If you like us and want to support our show, please support us on Patreon at patreon.com/reliablychaotic or by leaving a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. Thank you for listening. We hope to see you again in our next adventure.
Hey everyone. So this recording went a little longer than expected, and ended up becoming a two-parter. It couldn't be helped. We were having too much fun booping snoots and fighting squids.
Tune in next time for the conclusion of Passage of Faith.